Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Jaymorz Collectibles. How is everyone doing on this fine Sunday afternoon? And I hope you had a wonderful Easter if you're watching sometime in the future. So to all my negative 10 subscribers watching this video, today I have another mail day video. I ordered a lot of product in the past few months and decided to pick these two out just for an interesting discussion. Sort of like a Rudy Rants type of video where he's rummaging through and organizing his cards. So we'll have quite a bit of different topics for today. First of which is discussing what I purchased, why I'm actually filming these two items in particular, and sort of talk about the state of Magic the Gathering as a whole and the intricacies on what's happening right now as of April. And where do we stand? What's the next move? So let's begin with opening it up and see what Jaymorz has decided to collect. My little fancy switchblade over here, if you will. So, very elaborate. Now these two boxes hail from the motherland. That would be up north in Canada from my good pal Jason, who decided to liquidate his entire collection to various different, what the heck is this? Members of the Facebook group. Red Zone cases. Okay. It's, sports memorabilia that he decided to use as packaging, which is always appreciated. And just fancy cardboard. Alright, moving on. I'll edit that part of it out. As you can see, yes, this one came in a box, but I did my due diligence and opened it up for you so we could spare a lot of time here. So let me open that up. We have another box within a box. Yes, Inception, I know. Let's see if I can do a good job opening this one out. 300 count instead of a 200 count. Very fancy. And well taped. Make sure the cards don't go flying. Alright. Missed the seam right there. Bam! Okay. So, cardboard. Of course, cardboard within cardboard because we all live in the magical world of cardboard. So, I am going to take out... He always does this. I've already inspected the other one just to make sure he wasn't full of shenanigans, but he is 100% legitimate. I recommend buying from him, although I think he sold out of all his sets, all the way from Unlimited up till the latest set imaginable, which I believe was Double Masters. So, what do I have in here? Well, ladies and germs, let's see if you could recognize the symbol. Just put this over here. Does that look familiar? Does that set look familiar? Can Joey get enough snow-covered items in his collection? Well, this is, my friends, a complete set of Cold Snap that I purchased from the gentleman for a little less than $200. Now, something like this doesn't have much secondary value when piecing it out, but has a lot of playability. Look, speaking of playability, probably one of the most notable commanders out there, the Enchanter. I mean, a lot of shenanigans you can pull off with just this one card alone in EDH Commander. Most popular format, arguably, in Magic the Gathering, although Modern may make a comeback. You heard it here, folks. You heard it in my previous videos, and now we're seeing quite a bit of action in Modern. So, with that being said, that is product number one. So Cold Snap in particular, he did have quite a few sets available when I decided to pick this one in particular. Namingly, he always puts extra commons, uncommons, and rares as placeholders in the box. So kudos to him for hooking it up. Great for any bulk cards if you want to play some Pauper or just having your collection, but honestly there's really nothing of value here. Oh, that's cool. We have original Time Spiral. I guess he felt nostalgic, right? Then we have Theros, Born to Gods, Amonkhet, just random bulk that he's amassed throughout his, I guess, tenure in Magic Gathering. God bless him in his new endeavors. And yeah, so that's what I have in box number 1. What do we have in box number 2? Well, I'll give you a hint. It's another set. Can you guess it? You got 10 seconds. Again, same shenanigans. Bulk cards to keep it tight while shipping, right? Well, as you can see, this one, if I can get it in focus, is a complete set of Dominaria. So this set in particular just has so much going for it. Just like what I thought Urza would be in modern day. Just like I thought what Visions and Weatherlight would be in modern day. Just like what I thought Mercadian Masks will be in modern day. I have the same exact type of hunch for this set in particular, as I think it would be widely adopted for people to have in their collection. So with that, I have my 2 items. Let's get some eye candy while I talk about a few things, just to show you in the video as I sit through here. Okay, you got your Yargle. Just to show you some things. They even have Opt. I mean, every good set has Opt. Anyway, let me get positioned right here. I'm coming. You didn't lose me. So with that being said, let's start the discussions to be had in this video. So first things first, as you can see, Naru is pretty good. Especially for Strixhaven. I guess she went up in price. Just a lot of human wizards. That's pretty cool. Merfolk Trickster. Karn's Temporal Sundering. Really cool cards. In Bolas's clutches. Just all around really cool cards. So let's start with some of the discussions I want to have in this video. Starting with the obvious one. The collectibles world is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. Card prices just continue to go up. Gaming collectibles are on a tear. And just a newfound item is right around the corner for people to park their money into. As we continue to see this rise of investors in this space of collectibles, the bridge between the low-end collectible item and the high-end continue to grow, and there's a larger divide between your day-to-day casual investor, turning from a hobbyist to a collector or investor, and your extreme, more whale-like type of investor. Because this bridge between the two continues to grow and grow, a lot of people have FOMO and they feel as if they missed the boat and there's no other opportunity out there in this space. Well, that's why I have these 2 products out here. You need to understand that this wasn't the case 5-10 years ago when the hottest item was Scourge or Onslaught, and the hottest item then was Alpha Beta, because that's the starting point of it all in Magic Gathering. Take Yu-Gi-Oh! For example as well. Blue Eyes White Dragons weren't really the premier card to have because it wasn't as dominant as some of the other cards. Pokemon started with Charizard, so that's the go-to. However, a lot of the other foils weren't actually sought after. Pokemon was under a dry spell because there wasn't a lot of playability with the older cards. That's not the case for Magic, and that's not the case for the cards in front of you. A lot of these cards are actually sought after, have been played with, and have memories tied with some of these cards. I mean, you have Dark Depths in Cold Snap, you have Teferi in Dominaria, you have the Saga cards. So you want to look for opportunity because it is out there. It's just because it doesn't have an initial starting return that you would expect that's competitive in this space right now does not mean it's not a good investment. For Magic Gathering, there are no fractional shares. There is no one big ticket item, for instance. It's a pool of different items that make up a position or a portfolio, if you will. So having a set and having exposure to cards like an ETF, for example, is a great investment as long as it's a sound decision. So there are opportunities. Yes, there are sets that will never see as much return as some other sets or just remain flat forever. Cold Snap, I believe, is not one of those sets. I think it's iconic. I think it's old. It was released in 2005, I believe, or 2006. And Dominaria just had limited print runs. And Richard Garfield was back in the game for that one. So that's the first point of this video. Moving onwards with Modern Magic. If you haven't noticed already, Modern has come back and is on fire. It is back with a vengeance. It is on a tear. But the real question is it here to stay? Well, seeing how the products are naturally aging and people are ascertaining whether or not to be cracking these older sets to obtain modern cards in the older style frame and artwork. Well, that's the conundrum. And I think as the time value of Magic, just like Rudy would say, the time value of money is irreplaceable. There will always be price increases in these older products as time goes on. It's inevitable, and that's what's pushing the modern format to sort of build up and follow these prices on the sealed product. So Modern itself, I think, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it in my older videos, you've heard it from me several times already. Modern has come back and the prices are not going to retrace nowhere near the lows that we've seen before in the previous market cycle. I think a lot of these sets, a lot of these products are nostalgic, and the price spikes sort of reinstill confidence in the market for modern players who basically had fond memories playing Modern back in the day. So naturally, as the years go by, product prices will go up and the cards will either retain their value or continue to see small return. Nothing is near as vintage as the print run for those particular items, and just the way players held on to them is extremely different than what we see in modern day Magic. I mean, people played on sidewalks, people played at school, the teachers took their cards, they were stuffed in pockets. I mean, just a lot of variables at play for the vintage stuff. But again, that does not necessarily exclude that anything outside of vintage is a bad investment. So, of course, you want to break down your portfolio with the vintage legacy items and then spew into modern as you replenish your disposable income, so to speak. Because vintage and legacy is pricing itself out of the overall median salary, let's say, of the general investor in the space. Same thing with Pokemon, same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! Digimon is starting to see that as well. But eventually there will be opportunities in these older products. It's sort of like with Bitcoin, how Bitcoin is the premier cryptocurrency, but the altcoins are still seeing a lot of traction because it's basically the alternative, cheaper investment that sort of behaves the same way as the parent Bitcoin cryptocurrency. So with that analogy and the discussion of modern, is MTG in a bubble? Is not in a bubble. I don't think there will be any catastrophic turns of event that would send or ricochet Magic Gathering to cause the card price to ever plummet to historic lows. I think MTG has proven itself time and time again as the premier collectible in the TCG space of gaming collectibles. So the mindset of the player base is a lot different in Magic than it is for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And you need to understand this when deciding which TCG to invest in. So Joey, that's great and all. Magic Gathering is here to stay. It's not in a bubble. Modern is here to stay. In fact, seeing a lot of traction. That's great and all, Joey. But what's the next move in Magic Gathering? What's the next move in collectibles? Are we seeing a new TCG entering the space? Are we seeing more upside in Magic Gathering? Where is the new investor parking their money? Well, I think they missed the boat on high-end vintage cards for sure. Unless they're affluent, have a lot of disposable income, and know the ropes to get some of the premier high-end cards, and therefore price erosion might happen if there isn't a market. If there is no demand, they may stay flat. So that's with the vintage market. Same thing with Charizards, if you will, graded cards. Legacy is seeing an uptick as well because it's the more affordable alternative to the vintage market. Same thing with Pokemon, same thing with Yu-Gi-Oh! So as the legacy market continues to rise, the next move for Magic players, again, will be the modern sets, the modern cards, the modern booster box. It's basically law of supply and demand. And a lot of these booster boxes and sets are not available to the public as one may suspect. It's sort of like the misillusion of the year the cards were printed. So what's the next move? Well, I think the cards will retain their value. I don't think there will be any exponential upticks in the card market as a whole. I think it's still trying to find its marketplace within the all-time highs. However, that does not stop unique certain cards that people find opportunities within from going up in value. And that's where we're at right now. So you sort of need to find those nooks and crannies within the space, not just for Magic Gathering, but also for any other TCG collectible product out there. You have to do your research, you have to do your due diligence, you have to find product that is sort of undervalued and underappreciated. Two iconic examples right in front of you right now, Cold Snap and Dominaria. So that's all I wanted to say in the video. I hope you enjoyed the cards in front of you. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say about them and just get a better insight as far as what my 2 cents are and understand where the market is heading. This is a brand new market cycle. It ended as soon as the hysteria cleared out, and now we're seeing Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon finding a price balance within its market. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next Jaymorz Collectibles.